welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to do a little bit of a spinning for bass along the coast. I've just picked this little spot here just to quickly do an intro because it's really windy. It was a lot breezier than I was expecting. Well, I knew it was going to be a moderate northeasterly, but I found this little spot here. It's sheltered out the way of the wind, so I'll do it now because it's probably going to be a lot of wind noise otherwise. But yeah, we'll see what today brings. Hopefully we'll get first caught bass of the year. I've got feathers. I might even get some mackerel, you never know. But what I've done is as well today, I've bought just a little bit of bait, a tiny little tub with some mackerel in it, and I've got some squid. I could put some baited mackerel feathers on later on and just cast it out, and you never know. But it's supposed to be about, well, it's going to be low tide at 9 o'clock today. I'm just sort of starting in the middle point where I normally start, between Cart Gap and sort of Eccles. And then I'm just going to work my way along. I'm going to turn left, work my way along up to Cart Gap, put a single spinner on, and see if it's a little bit choppy out there, but it doesn't look too bad, not as bad as I was expecting. So let's go, come on, let's go fishing. Woohoo! We're off. Come on guys. The sun's coming out. It's about 12 degrees, but it's supposed to be about 5 or 6 degrees less than yesterday. So I'll just put a little body warmer on, and come on, let's go. Right guys, I'm just trying to shield the camera a bit. It's a little bit breezy than I thought, but actually it's not too bad. I've had 2 or 3 casts. I'm using a 42 gram just plain silver Dexter wedge just to get the distance. It's casting quite well and there's not much pull. It's quite foamy, but it seems to be working at the minute. I just got a Shakespeare Mach 2 barbel rod with the 2 pound test curve tip in it. Try to shield the thing. I've got a 17 pound trilene, Berkeley trilene shock leader, just mono. 2 10 pound Daiwa sensor mainline, just a twisted boom, and a tiny little link clip with a swivel. Just trying to keep it as simple as possible. I think it's going to be too windy and choppy to be trying casting feathers unless I put a bomb on it. We just got a picky moment, and the wind is supposed to pick up later this afternoon, so probably getting a little bit too much later on, but it's all right at the minute. Quickly winding in the slack because obviously the wind's taking it a bit. So it's tide's going out, pulling right to left, as you can see with the rod. Actually not too bad. Thought it was going to be a lot worse than it is. Just starting with a steady retrieve. Casting about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Don't want to get too far down. It's not too bad. Just going to check the drag. Then it's going to head along to the coast, head along to the lighthouse, walk myself along. Sorry about that. yeah, just gonna head along to Clark Gap, up to us, whatever we want to pronounce it, Hasbro, Apsborough. I've had half a dozen casts. I'm just going to put a ever so slightly heavier lure on. Just get this out of the way. Just try to shield this behind the coat. It's got a 48 gram Shakespeare Dexter wedge, the holographic, silver and blue there. Just walked along a bit, it seems a lot deeper here. Hope this breeze will lay down a little bit, but it's casting alright, it's retrieving alright, it's not too strong, so we'll see where we go. Hopefully the sun will poke out in a bit. We'll just experimenting a bit. It's only about 8 o'clock, still got an hour till low tide, so but I've just bought some of these little 28 gram shad lure, and it absolutely casts like a dream, absolutely casts like a rocket. I'm getting twice the distance. Seems to be cutting through the wind a lot better than the heavier lure, and it's retrieving a lot better. It's not getting pulled around with the tide a lot more. So I'm going to stick with this and see how we get on. Cast like an absolute rocket. I'm getting twice the distance with this smaller light lure. I think, as I say, it's cutting through the air better. It's got a little box on the back, so I'm just going to sort of like a working little box rather than going in and out of the rucksack all the time. Just got one of these 36 gram Shakespeare slivers. It's casting really well, and it's sort of like, it's not getting swept around as much as the other one. And also what I'm doing is I've found, got little things I'm finding out, just having the lure a little bit closer to the rod tip, bringing it back, not forcing it, feeling the weight, casting it out. Then I'm also, what I'm doing is just count it to 5, letting it settle, then reeling in, keeping the rod tip a little bit higher as well, out the surf, so it's not getting swept about. Literally bringing it back. There's a feather in it. It's getting a good 80 yards out. Let that settle for a bit. Just pausing as well, quick retrieve, pause, steady. A bit of a weird sort of rip current here, because normally it's pulling to the left, but that seems to be going to the right for some reason. A bit strange. Right guys, what I'm going to do is, I'm sort of drawing up a little plan of action, because it's getting quite breezy now, and it is, you know, I'm casting alright and it's retrieving alright, and the tide's not too bad, it's not too strong, it's just a bit coloured for what I'd like. you know, there's a bit of a chocolatey foam coming up. I'm just filming it here out the wind as best I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk all the way up to Cart Gap to where all the barriers are, and then I'll probably, what I plan to do is just pick a couple of likely looking spots, and I'm just going to try things out rather than walking for miles and miles and miles and miles. Might as well find a decent area, a lot to look off, and then try a few bits and pieces. It's, you know, if the fishes happen to be passing, it's passing rather than me walking for miles and miles and miles because they stay at sea. So that's what the plan is to do. I'll just turn you around. Yes, breezy. Yeah, I've just come across an old buried sunken city or something. That looks like the old riverbed there, like a volcano. Obviously the river ran up here, and we got like an old stone house. Well preserved. Must have just been unearthed by the last high tide. I looked at it. If anyone's got any questions to anyone know what this town's called, this miniature village, they leave a comment below. Right, we're nearly there. I'm going to keep walking. As I said, I'm just going to find a couple of places that look really batty, and not Shirley batty, and just change a few lures. Maybe I can cast some feathers. If not, I'll put a bomb on. I might bait some feathers up with some squid. I've got squid. And just experiment. I've got nothing to lose today by the look of it. So found a nice brick here. I could just, if I need to get heavier lead for today, I can tie the line around that, and hopefully that will hold. In 5 meters, turn right. In 10 meters, you have reached your destination. Turn around where possible. Turn around where possible. Okay, what I've decided to do, to start off with, just had a bit of an experiment. I've got a feather rig. Just made these up myself, but I can't remember what they call this. It's used for fly tying. It's like a little jacket sleeve, silver sleeve. You take the foam out, and it's made up a rig, but I've shortened it down. It's only got four feathers on it. And I've shortened it both ends as well. So I put on a 32 gram Shakespeare sliver, texture wedge, and this. I'm still getting a decent distance on it. So I'm going to work my way along. And the wind seems to be settling a little bit at the minute. I'm going to work my way along and see what's what. Before I do that though, I'm going to have a nice coffee. I'm glad I put 2 hoodies on today and my body warmer, because it is not warm. But what I might do as well, I've got some 2 and 3 ounce leads. Put a lead on here, put some strips of squid on there, cast it out, sit and wait, see what we can catch. Any dabs or, never know, anything really. But that's the plan. Coffee, and I'm going to head my way up. Okay, what I decided to do, the further along I get along there, it gets shallower and shallower, and as you can see, it's getting rougher and rougher over there the further you go around. I just can't cast it very well, but it's not too bad this side. I'm really experimenting, and obviously the slimmer wedges are doing a lot better today than the thicker Dexter wedge or spinner style. I think they're not getting caught by the wind as much, and it's slimmer profile as well. They're not getting caught by the tide. They're just retrieving so much better. You put a heavier, wider lure on, like a spoons sort of style, and it's getting dragged. And I tried a couple of box soft lures, shads. Again, they're just getting caught by the tide too much. But these casting like an absolute dream, and they're retrieving nice and straight as well. So, but also what I'm going to do, I'll just cast this out. See what I mean? It's just casting up. So far, it's just like an arrow. But I'm going to work my way back. And what I was thinking is, I'm going to be lazy. And instead of walking, I'm going to just drive around to see Palling. Have a look around the bays. Because I'll hopefully find some sheltered water behind the groins and that. So. So I'm just going to stick with this 32 gram Shakespeare slither. Seems to be behaving the best on the day. I'm getting miles with it. It's not getting caught by the wind, it's not getting caught by the tide. Losing my voice. So yeah, I'm just going to work my way back and then head down to see Palling in the car. Not too far, 5 minutes, and then we'll try and be in a little bay bits, see if there's any bit of slack water in there, or not quite so rough. You never know, that might push with the with this northeasterly today. That might push a bait fish into the bays, or bass might push the bait fish into the bays. But if there's ever a bass peg, this would be it. It's sort of nice and shallow, bit of gravel. There's a nice 2 and 3, 4 breakers there. I can get beyond them. Beyond that 3rd breaker there, there's got to be something out there surely. Got nice rolling waves. Got to be something in the surf. It's not too rough here. The water's really clear actually, very clear here. Seems to have died down a bit, that surf. Well, it has here, but I say the further to the left you get, the rougher it seems to be. But I mean, if I was going to enter a bet, I'd say to get a bite today, it'd be along this bit here. That's beyond that 4th wave there. Steady retrieve, just quick speed up, pause it, steady retrieve. I don't know if you can see, but you're getting tossed around like a cork out there. You must be keen. I've seen him going up and down, up and down. He's definitely bobbing up and down, bobbing up and down. He's obviously fishing. So he's got good sea legs. Well, I've decided I'm not going to go too far. I just walked all, well, I didn't drive in the end, I've walked. I just got my head down and walked as fast as I can up to see Palling. There's somebody already lure fishing in this first bay here, but I've gone around and been lure fishing around just where the first or the second red pole is. There's two guys fishing there with rods, got 2 rods each, just fishing squid and mackerel. One of them's had a small bass this morning. The guy on the lure rod's not had anything down there, but I didn't want to crash his swim, so I thought I'd come round to this little peg here. And somebody else, I don't know, kite surfing. But yeah, I've got I'm going to thrash this water to a foam. It's already foamy, but I'm going to foam. So, but I've narrowed it down. At the minute, I'm just fishing 3 different lures, and all virtually similar. Sticking with this Shakespeare sliver, 32 gram in silver, hollow. I've also got smaller 28 gram in green, rather than going in and out of my box all the time. I've got this 28 gram little shad as well, cast like a dream. So I was going to fantail it out. I'm going to start at that point and then work left, and then I'll start to point again and work round to the right hand side. Let's try not to hook the island though. The tide's flooded in now, but somebody's telling me just to keep concentrating on this spot. I've just hooked 2 casts, 2 peanut crabs, and the other one I brought back some little shrimps which I've stuck in my pocket. But if there's, you know, there's loads of crabs, shrimps, there's oysters, there's razor clams, there's all sorts of shellfish here. Terns as well. Terns are diving, as you can see over there. There's got to be something controlling along them rocks. And I just like the way this over there, there's a load of chocolate water in amongst a load of clear water where it's pushing through the rocks there. There's like a channel, must cut through the rocks. See a load of dirty water mixed in between. But it's a good spot here. It's quite a deep channel along there. I'm just look, hooking crabs and every time. So there must be loads of bait out there. I'm just getting as near to the rocks as I can, just feathering it down. Like that. Nice slow retrieve. It seems to come up on a hump here because where the 2 tides are obviously 2 conflicting tides, pushed up into a hump here, but along that back channel there's a little deep trench. I'm just running it anywhere from that post down. I think what I'd probably do next time as well, just seen a guy and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I've got some chest waders. Put the chest waders on. I'm just getting a bit more. Waders are no good. 1 minute it's fine, the next minute you're getting a boot full. I'm going to carry on. Well guys, I'm all back at the car. I'm all done, it's about 1:30, short session today. from about 9 o'clock till 1:30. I've been up and down the coast. There's a couple of people fishing. One of them had a small bass on worms. I'm going a bit gangster style with this one. But spoke to another guy who was lure fishing. He didn't catch anything, he didn't have anything, but just fished a couple of bays there. It looked bassy, but I think that water's still, it's been a slow, it's been a slow start to the summer. It's been very cold start to the year. That water's still a little bit coloured and a little bit cold. But I think what I was thinking on the way back, this is where my journey began with sea fishing. I've always fished since I was a young lad, but I did do a bit of sea fishing. Sorry, my door keeps just watching my rod in the door. Yeah, I did a bit of sea fishing, only a little bit. Dabbled in it when I was about 17, 18, and it was just all being coarse fishing on the rivers and match fishing. Just about a cup of teeth on the Trent and the Witham, Fenland drains in and around Lincolnshire, Nottingham and all the rest of it. And it was first lockdown, I think it was that first lockdown, the longest one, when we was allowed to go back out and the rivers were shut. You could go to a commercial, but everyone was like with COVID and, you know, the first time around, oh, I'm not going there, sitting with another 20, 30 anglers, more chance of catching COVID. So when he was allowed to go back out, came up to see Palling and just used a bit of my, grabbed some carp rods and some leads, and that's where it all began. And then as soon as I did a couple of sessions there, I was hooked, as they say, quite literally. So yeah, I thought, I always see a couple of people fishing there, and they always do quite well for the bass and that on worms or squid. And that's what I'll probably in the next session I'll go out. I'll go back to where it all started off at Clink Road, and then you can just get over the hill, and then you're fishing but where we were today. So yeah, I'm going to do that next time. No fish today, but I did have 2 takes, and I saw the fish as well. Just turning the surf at the last minute. And that was when I had the wedge Dexter wedge on and the feathers. But I didn't sort of only give it 5 minutes with that. I maybe should have, you know, maybe should have stuck with it, given that I had 2 takes. But I went back on just on the Shakespeare slither, and I seemed to cast well and sort of like behaved best in the water. I kept switching and changing, narrowed it down to 3 or 4 lures, and just kept switching it depending on the state of the tide and pull and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's been a good, enjoyable day out. No fish, but I think we're getting closer and closer. 2 takes is better than nothing. So anyway, next time I won't put this one up, I don't think. I'll probably leave this and join it with another one for when we go down at Clink Road and do a bit of beach fishing. But I just travel really light. I'm going to take 2 rods, that's it, with my box, and just get everything in there. Just take a few weights, minimal tackle, and travel light and get back to the way it should be. Alright, take care. I'll see you again in another episode.